Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so just listening to the Kyrie Irving conversation. Obviously, everyone's reacting to how he handled the situation with being heckled and just the overall energy in Boston. He told a fan to SMD. You figure out what that means on your own as he was leaving the building, and also flipped the bird to some fans during the game we all saw. So, the NBA is going to react to it as they do, and Kyrie's going to have to take the fine or hopefully not the suspension, but we will see. I think it's a lot of things to say about the situation, but one of them is, Kyrie's availability has already been scarce, so putting himself in a position to possibly be fined, possibly be removed from a playoff game, it's not a good look. I understand that was bad energy that he was taken back, but he has to remember that he was too disrespectful as well. And, you get back what you put out. I think if he would have left there more professionally, I think kind of played the, I love the fans role. I'm pretty sure he would have been respected there. Sure, he would have got his boos here and there, but they would have ultimately respected, the professionalism. I think that's why guys play it corny. I think that's why guys always, say the right things. It's because you don't want to deal with this type of energy. And two, it can cost you money in certain areas as well, of course. But before a guy like Kyrie Irving, I think he knows what he wants, but it's just about how do you get it. That is, I guess, the equation that Kyrie has to figure out. He knows that he's different than a lot of people. He knows that he takes on the world differently. His norms and things that are common to him, he may look at all of us and see us as abnormal if we go about it differently or what have you, if he chooses. I think the point is for a guy like Kyrie Irving is to understand the importance of coming down to where everybody else is so that he can get what he wants out of the environment around him. You don't like bad energy, so it's important that you don't put out bad energy. And if you think what you're putting out is not bad energy, it's not about what your definition of bad energy is. It's about the definition of everybody else in that case, which is why it's important to be in touch with others. And it's what we're talking about, being in touch. You're different. You see the world a certain way. You do think things are a certain way as everybody else thinks is over, a different way. Okay, we're different. But why is it important to understand everybody else? Because when you're in the midst of everybody else, you don't want to deal with certain things. You can see Kyrie was uncomfortable. You can see that he was heavy to that energy, and he didn't want to be in it. You know what I mean? How do you create an environment that doesn't provide that energy? That's the equation. He's got to figure that out. So that's just something I want to throw out there. Not necessarily basketball related, but just understanding what I'm seeing from the guy, and just still understanding that he's young. And a lot of times young people think they have things figured out, but they still don't quite understand where they are. You may have figured out you, but you ain't figured out where you are and why that relationship of understanding is so important to how it is that you're going to get what you want out of the world that you're in. You know what I mean? It's okay to value other people's norms as it pertains to wanting to relate to them. You know what I mean? And as it pertains to the Boston Celtics, they didn't understand why you stomped on their logo. They didn't understand why you told them that you were going to stay in and ultimately left, and felt it was your prerogative to do so. Because they're supposed to understand, that you're an athlete that's doing what's best for yourself. Well, you didn't understand the relationship they have to their team, and how you're breaking their hearts in doing so. What the relationship is from a fan to the team as it pertains to how, they may be feeling when they wake up in the morning, or how they handle their relationships in their lives. It's like the team ain't doing well, so now the uncle is drinking a little more. It's like little things like that matter to the fan that Kyrie can't see, and he wants others to understand him, but he doesn't care to understand them. Your availability mattered. You being honest to the Boston fan base mattered. You being upfront about how and what it is that you wanted to do with your personal life matters, because it affects these people. And you want good energy, so you got to respect what matters to these people. You see what I'm saying? So Kyrie Irving, you flipping the bird, you're forgetting that you stomped on the eye. You stomped on the Celtic logo, bro. All that energy, you welcome that. You asked for that. You created the environment you're in. You didn't have to go to that team and say all that stuff. I want to be here. I'm going to stay on it. You didn't have to do all that. You started off with the song and dance that we were saying, the fakeness. You started off with, but you didn't finish with that. You didn't stay consistent with the people. What are they supposed to do other than see you as the enemy? What else are they supposed to say? You didn't hold them down. You weren't loyal to them. You didn't respect what matters to them, which is their team. Now, we discussed on this channel what I thought he was doing when he stomped on that logo. But it's just what I thought he was doing. I know Kyrie Irving is very, very in tune with his Native American roots and his respect for the history of this country as it pertains to the negative aspects of what happened here. We know he is real to him in a way that most everyday Americans just don't carry it, right? We know this. He's let us into that much. And I think a lot of what he was doing in that situation was in respects to some of his ideals as it pertains to that particular subject. Now, I could be wrong. I'm just putting two and two together from afar. I don't know this man. But what I'm seeing, based on what it is he allowed us to let us in on, allows me to understand that he has a different perspective as it pertains to that wink. And maybe some of the rest of us do when we look at a logo and think of a basketball team. That's my theory. But nevertheless, he didn't explain it, so nobody knows. For all we know, he hates the Celtics fans. Clearly, he's telling us he don't have love for most of them, even though he acknowledged that some of them are really good, and he does acknowledge that. But you're gonna come in there, treat them like the enemy, come to their team, put on their colors, and disrespect it when you leave. Tell lies basically about what your intentions are in regards to their team, and then now you mad at them for being mad at you. Nah, bro. Nah. It doesn't work. Some could argue that Ben Simmons, your teammate, doing the same thing to the Philadelphia fan base, although I have a different perspective on that. But, it appears the same way in some ways. You just got to be respectful of what these people's team means to them, and that you put on a uniform and behave a certain way or speak a certain way or take it off and be disrespectful a certain way. It's almost like how I look at Doc Rivers in regards to covering up our banners when he was a Clipper coach. Like, that's, disrespect for what it is that we stand for as fans, and not respecting what it means to us when we think about those accomplishments. You cover up the 2010 banner. You covering up a moment I spent celebrating, this championship with my mom, who's no longer with me. Like, you covering up something that we celebrated together. You see what I'm saying? Like, he ain't looking at it like that. But there's no credence given to how serious this is as it pertains to the fans, and what this could potentially mean to each and every individual. And it's different for everybody. So, that's what I would say to a guy like Kyrie Irving. You wage war against the Celtics. You know what that means to a lot of people? Like, do you understand what that actually means when you step on that logo? I've seen and heard of people who've buried their loved ones in full colors for these teams. Like, do you know what that means? You might get punched out when doing something like that in the wrong city to the wrong logo, or worse. You know how people get down out here? You know how many times we've heard of people at Dodger games and Raider games getting jumped and all kinds of. You can't just stomp on somebody's logo and think they're gonna be cool, bro. You lucky they ain't throwing stuff at you. You know what I'm saying? I went on this camera a couple days ago talking about how I didn't appreciate, people hanging the balloons on Magic Johnson's statue. Just yesterday I was talking about that. It means something different to these people, man. And so that's what I'm trying to paint. I'm trying to paint that picture, more or less. So, yeah, man. As it pertains to Kyrie Irving, now he's gonna have to take back what comes with that. And another thing is, you gotta win. Now, granted, I know he's gonna meet the moment. He's an athlete. He's an artist. All of that. He's gonna meet the moment. But look at that last play. Got to put a body on Tatum. We've talked about it many times. It's those little things that ultimately give those people who you're angry at, angry at you, those people, you are giving them all of the celebration in this situation by not finishing out the game with a victory. You know what I mean? Now, how much of that is within your control, I don't know. But it's part of it. If you're going to stomp on somebody's eyelid, you're going to, stomp on the logo, you better come in there ready to win. You better get them victory, or it doesn't matter all the fingers you throw up. You can tell them SMD, you can tell them whatever. It ain't gonna matter. They win. All they're gonna be doing is waving and smiling and screaming at you. And most importantly, coming back with even more. Because they know it worked. That energy, you crumbled to it. You got the L to it. They don't care about what else you're doing. Cry, tear. They don't care about that. The only way you're gonna get back at those people, for whatever it is you feel you should be getting back at them for, which I don't know, it looked like you started that one. But if that's the case, you got to win. You know, your hero, Kobe, he won those games. He wasn't let nobody get in there and catch that ball pirouette off him. Nah. Jason Tatum was going to be on the ground, head first. He was going to push Tatum out the sky before he let that happen. But most importantly, he was going to be aware that whatever took place back there broke down, and he was going to put a body on that man. Why? Because it's the difference between winning and losing, and he's aware of that. See what I'm saying? It ain't just enough to be a great artist. It ain't enough to be skillful. No, you just got to be aware. And when you in a place, an environment like that, and you cause that energy, that should bring that keen awareness out of you, that competitive nature, that killer to say, you know what, these people ain't winning this game. I'm going to pay attention to the very last detail. It ain't going to be a hair left unplucked on their heads. That's the mentality. That matches that energy that you've drummed up when you stomp on somebody local. If you can't meet that, you're going to be crumbled by that. It will destroy you. And that is exactly what we're seeing here. The level of perfection that you have to play with to meet that energy you drummed up. See what I'm saying? It's deep. That's why I love sports, because it's very deep. You know, and if you're not even aware that you caused that, if you're not even acknowledging that you allowed yourself to drum that up, oh man, you ain't never gonna have a chance against it. You know, KD didn't play well in that game. Your energy caused him problems. And that is a metaphor for everything that is going on around the situation, man. Whether you know it or not. Whether you want to talk about it or not, even the vaccination process. It's a lot of people that had to go take sacrifices for your choices throughout the season. You know, it even cost the Nets James Harden. I mean, a whole Hall of Famer left the organization because of a choice that you made. Now, I support the choice, but it's always about understanding who all you help and hurt at the same time when you make moves. He gave credence to the people he was helping and standing for, but gave no credence to the people he was hurting, who had to carry the team while he decided to make his decision. You know what I mean? The best thing he can do for them now, who have held that load and held him down and got him to this point in the playoffs, is to make damn sure that he does nothing to hurt the team from this point on. KD held you down. All season long, I'm with KD. If it came down to him and James Harden, I'm with Kyrie Irving. That's it. If it came to KD, it's Kyrie Irving. Yesterday, KD struggled. It just happens. Whatever. They played a good defensive game against him. He struggled. Kyrie played a great game. But you got to get the win. You know what I mean? That's all it is to it. You got to get the win. So it's not just on Kyrie's shoulder. Basketball is a team sport. I get that. It's a lot that comes with it. But Kyrie created the environment that created the notion that they should defend Kyrie that way. I mean, KD that way. Where they threw a lot of bodies at him and all that, yeah. That was because they knew it was a misdirection in place for them to take advantage of. As we discussed in the previous video, I believe that Udoka realized that the Celtics fans and everybody was focused on Kyrie Irving, and that the Nets knew that would probably be what they would do, focus on Kyrie Irving and try to shut him down because of it. And Udoka got his teammate. Said, nah, we ain't worried about the guy everybody's focused on. We're going to throw every defensive assignment, every defensive scheme we got is going straight at KD. We're going to punish him for Kyrie's energy. And that's how that went. Just like it's been all season. KD paying for Kyrie's choices and energy. Will it pay off, Kyrie? That's what I would ask him. Is it going to pay off? Is KD's investment in you and all this punishment KD taking because of you, is it going to pay off in the championship? That's up to you, brother. It's all about the details, man. Details. So that's what I want to say, man. Hopefully this is encouraging. I didn't pick them to win the series. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't. But if they were to win the series, they're gonna have to do it without Ben Simmons. We know that. I don't expect him to come back, even though he said he'll be back in Game 4. To what degree? I don't know. You know, Robert Williams should be back very soon, so that's another thing. But all in all, I just think Kyrie needs to absorb this. You know, he created this. These people are mad at him because of what he chose to do. You know, and lack of transparency and letting them know why he felt the way he felt. You know, that's where he bodes wrong. You gotta get on this camera just like you did the first time and address them Boston fans and let them know. Maybe not now, but well after the playoffs, let them know what happened. Let them know what they don't know, or why you stepped on, you know, did that whole little charade right there where you stepped on their logo and lied to them people, told them you were gonna stay in when you didn't. Something happened. You know what I'm saying? But that's the people, the good people of Boston, the ones that you said you want to give respect to. They deserve that. Why? Because they bought your jersey. Because they came into that arena and they screamed for you. You understand what I'm saying? Because they paid for them tickets while you were there. Come on now. See, that's why I had a problem with him stomping on their logo. Never mind what was behind it. You acting like them people didn't support you for a minute. You act like they didn't put money in your pocket for a minute. You acting like they didn't cheer you on when you was doing good things for a minute. Or you acting like they weren't waiting to cheer you on. You know? Sometimes we forget that. It's not like these people are waiting to boo us. They're waiting to cheer you on. It's just that you didn't meet and deliver what it is that they were hoping to be able to cheer. For whatever reason. How is that their fault? Why did their logo get stepped on because of that? It's not going to appear fair. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to appear fair. Now, if you tell us this guy did this, that person stole money from me, that person did this, that person disrespected me, said this, that, and the third, and that is why, or this is what is going on in history, blah, 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 and that is why, then people be like, oh, just like they always do. Oh, support Kyrie, we love you. They're going to always support you if you're transparent and stand for what it is that you believe in. But if you ain't going to tell them what it is you're doing and you're just going to be disrespectful, then yeah, you're going to get booed and you're going to do worse. Potentially. So that's all I got to say about that, man. Hope the message gets to them. That's what I always say. I don't be addressing people for no reason. I want them to get what I say. In the hopes that things will improve in whatever way, you know. I don't think I have no other purpose. So that's what it is, man. My name is BDF44. I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.